Hello, this is Harry Clevin. I'm a big Lions fan, and I'm not one of these folks that just became a Lions fan because they've been awesome for the last little bit. I'm 57 years old, and good part of our Sundays was cutting wood up in Houghton Lake, Michigan, that we sold at our gas station, and settling down with something to eat while we're watching a Lions game. And there's a lot of days that you felt like, man, I wasted that day. But and somebody tripped over their own feet or something. This is entirely a different team, and I thank Sheila Hemp Ford for finally finding a solution. And we haven't won a Super Bowl yet, but to be this close and knocking on the door and being a team that's been seriously talked about for Super Bowl is refreshing. All right, I want to talk about a couple things that I think the NFL could do to improve their season. A bye week in the fourth week on a 17-game schedule doesn't make sense. Not having a bye week for the 11th week in a 17-game schedule does not make sense. It doesn't make it fair. Okay. And that's all you want is a fair playing field. Here's my suggestion. In the eighth and ninth weeks of the season, half the teams get a bye week in the eighth week. The other half get it in the ninth week. And you can play, you know, uh, you can figure the schedule out, play the Thursday games, the way that you're doing it and all that stuff. Another thing, too, is every year, if there is a clear cut number one draft pick that is the most coveted person in college. The sad news is you got teams at the end of the season not trying to put their best foot forward to win so they can get that quarterback. And in the NFL, you are guaranteed if you have the worst record to get the number one pick. No questions about it. Here's my suggestion. And I think we could actually do something in a lottery sense that is even better than the NBA. Okay, through the whole season, whoever wins the Super Bowl gets one lottery ball. Who's the runner up in the Super Bowl two? And then you figure out the rankings, how they left the playoffs, three, four, five. So the worst team would get 32 lottery balls. I think there's 32 teams. The second worst, so there's no guarantee that the worst team is going to get the number one pick. Okay. This would make it very interesting because everybody would play to win. Because what would be best is somebody that made the playoffs actually won the number one pick. It'd be great for the college uh, all star that's coming out. That's the for sure thing to not have to go to a losing team. Wouldn't that be awesome? It would make it fair. And it would also make, like, for example, if you got a top quarterback, it makes some interesting trades. If you had the number one guy was a quarterback, and you have your quarterback, you could trade with teams. You could do some trading. It'd be very interesting. And I just don't like if my team is playing a team at the end of the season that, or if my team is trying to get the best record in the NFL, okay, and the other team that may be tied with me is playing one of those teams that's tanking. I don't like that. I don't like the competition. And it seems like halfway through the season, maybe all the teams tried, but they go 0 and 3, 0 and 4. Now it's time to tank. I don't like that. What's your thoughts? That's the end of this little segment.